Hey, welcome back to the Plant Pair channel, guys. While you watch this workout, I want to talk about something a lot of people have been asking in the comments lately, and that's how long it took me to build my current physique, and how long it might take to build yours. It's a fair question. I've been training for about 16 years now, and I get that when you see someone's current results, you start doing the math in your head. How long will it take me to get there? So today, I'm going to break that down. We'll talk about what's realistic, what's possible, how genetics play into it, and what really matters if you want to transform your body. Oh, and guys, real quick, before we get into it, you might already know, but I use these pull-up grips you're seeing here for every workout and have for the past 3 years. If you're interested in getting a pair, the link is in the description to get 15% off, or use code PLANTPAIR15 at checkout for the same discount. They're compact, durable, and perfect for training anywhere and make any doorway a pull-up station without harming the frame at all. All right, let's get into today's topic. So when people ask how long it takes to build a good physique, they're usually asking one of two things. Either how long until I look good, or how long until I look like you or someone I look up to. Both are totally valid questions, but the truth is the timeline depends on a bunch of factors. Some you can control and some you can't. The part you can control is your consistency, effort, sleep, nutrition, and mindset. The part you can't control is your genetics, bone structure, muscle insertions, how fast you respond to training, and even how lean you naturally stay. But let's keep it simple. I'll give you my honest take on what to expect based on your effort and consistency. So I've been lifting for about 16 years. Now, that doesn't mean it took me 16 years to look decent. I'd say within my first 2 to 3 years of solid, consistent training, I already had what most would consider a quote-unquote fit or impressive physique. Back then, I wasn't overcomplicating things. I trained hard, I focused on the basics, and I made sure I was eating enough and sleeping well. Now, I do want to clear something up because it comes up in the comments a lot. People ask if I think I only have my current muscle mass because I used to lift heavy weights. And that's fair because early on in my journey, I was lifting heavier. I was going to the gym, doing barbell work, dumbbells, more traditional weight training. That's just where I started. I didn't jump straight into calisthenics or home workouts. It was a natural progression. But that doesn't mean lifting heavy weights is the only way to build a solid physique. It's just the path that I happen to take. You could take a completely different route, starting with bodyweight training or minimalist equipment, and still build a strong, lean, capable body. I genuinely believe that. The truth is, what matters most is progressive overload, consistency, and effort, not whether you're lifting barbells or doing push-ups and pull-ups in the garage. Resistance is resistance, and high effort is high effort regardless of the modality. These days, I mostly do bodyweight work, pull-ups, push-ups, squats, a few dumbbell movements for isolation here and there. That's what feels good for me now, and I still maintain and even think I improve my physique doing it. So no, you don't need to go through a lifting heavy phase to get results. You just need to train hard and consistently no matter what method you choose. What changed over the years was refinement, learning how to train smarter, not just harder, getting leaner, improving form, understanding recovery, but that noticeable transformation phase, that happened pretty early on. I say all this to point out you don't need 10 plus years to build a physique that kind of turns heads, if you will. You need 2 to 3 years of focused effort, in my opinion. And that's the honest truth. So let's talk about you now. What can you expect if you're starting from scratch? Here's a rough but realistic breakdown. So from just starting out to about the first 6 months, you'll see and feel changes, especially if you're new. You'll gain strength quickly, your muscles will feel fuller, and your energy will spike. This is the kind of newbie gains phase you hear people talk about. And then from that 6 to 12 months period, you'll likely see visible muscle definition if you're training hard and eating well. Clothes fit differently, people around you start noticing. You might not be there yet, but you're definitely on the path. And then from 1 to 2 years, this is where you can achieve a lean, athletic, muscular look for sure. Most people can reach a physique at this point that turns heads, especially with a lower body fat percentage. And then there's that 2 to 3 years phase. If you've stayed consistent and pushed yourself, you'll likely have a very solid foundation. You'll look like you've been training for years because you have. That's assuming you're not skipping workouts, you're eating enough calories to support growth, and you're sleeping enough to recover. Now, let's talk genetics. This is the part no one wants to hear, but it does matter. Genetics determine where your body stores fat, your muscle shape and insertion points, how easily you gain muscle or stay lean, and your limb lengths and how you can perform your exercises because of them. Some people gain muscle easily and stay naturally lean. Others gain fat quickly and struggle to look defined even after months of training. That's just the reality. For example, I've got decent genetics for upper body movements. My chest has always been a strength of mine, and I've naturally had some width in my back and shoulders, but my legs, not so much. They have been bigger than they currently are, but they were always tougher to build up. Now, luckily for me, I don't want big legs, and my training reflects that. I'm okay with it because my goals aren't about bodybuilding symmetry. That's another part of this. Goals matter. What you want to look like determines how you train and how you define success. I've seen guys with quote-unquote bad genetics outwork everyone and end up with better physiques than the so-called gifted ones. So yeah, genetics matter, but they're not everything. Effort, discipline, and time beat talent when talent doesn't show up consistently. If you're serious about this and you put in the work, training hard a few days a week, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, eating real food, you're going to see results and you're going to surprise yourself. I see too many people obsess over workout plans and supplements before they've even trained consistently for 6 months. You don't need perfection, you need repetition, over and over. Stack the workouts, eat the meals, get the sleep. So to answer the question, how long will it take to build a physique you're proud of? If you're consistent, serious, and dialed in with nutrition and recovery, expect 1 to 2 years to look solid and 2 to 3 years to look really good. Beyond that, it's about refinement. You'll keep getting better and learning more over time, but the biggest shift comes in that 2 to 3 year window, in my opinion. That's the phase where strangers start asking if you work out, where your confidence grows, and where you realize the work has really paid off. I'm 16 years in, but you don't need 16 years to look like you lift. You need a plan, effort, and patience. And most importantly, you need to enjoy the process. Because if you can find joy in the day-to-day workouts like I do with these simple home sessions, you'll stay consistent long enough to make the long-term changes. So just keep training smart and keep showing up. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. How long do you think it takes to get in shape? And if you're already in shape, how long did it take you? I'm interested to see how different everyone's answers are. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video.